we have Veena Sikri, former Indian diplomat and High Commissioner, joining us. Thank you so much, Ms. Sikri, for giving us your time. My first question to you is, Putin's state visit to India amid Trump tariffs is very, very significant, and it does catch global attention. What, according to you, is going to stand out this time?
Well, there are two things. First of all, you're right. Yes, it is a very significant visit, and it will grab global headlines. It's the first visit that President Putin is making to India since the start of the hostilities between Ukraine and Russia. And in that sense, it's a visit coming after many years. But it's also the 23rd annual summit between the Indian Prime Minister and the President of Russia. And it signifies a strong continuity in the relationship between India and Russia. And certainly this visit will build upon the earlier strengths and good points and achievements of the India-Russia relationship. So, sir, I think that first of all, the whole visit will be focused on the economic aspects, because there's a strong interest and need from both sides to develop the economic relationship between India and Russia, to strengthen the trade between India and Russia. You know, India has opened 2 new consulates in Russia to diversify our presence there and to give more focus on trading with the individual provinces of Russia. So I think this is a very important point of the trade and economic relationship that will be there between India and Russia. And this trade relationship also includes the energy relationship and the energy security and the question of India's purchases of Russian oil. There have been sanctions recently which have brought down the purchase of Indian oil, but I think that this will be discussed, because we've seen, for example, that China continues to purchase Russian oil in very large amounts without any kind of sanctions or any kind of stoppages of any kind. So I think this energy security will also be discussed. But I think the defense cooperation, the defense relationship, the question of Make in India, transfer of technology, and the defense cooperation based on transfer of technology will be a very significant part of the relationship. We do know that the S-400 air defense systems that India has purchased from Russia have proved to be very useful and very effective during Operation Sindoor. So certainly India will be placing a larger order for these. But here in this, there is also the question of delays, so we want that delays should not be there. We want that there should be priority in supplying these systems to India. And India is also discussing, that delays, because we've seen even in the question of the engines for the Tejas aircraft, that there have been delays from the American side as well. So, India is thinking of how we should go ahead and make sure that once India contracts for purchase of any equipment, then there should be no delays. And if there are delays, there should be a penalty or some provision for it, or even a cancellation. So I think this question of delays will come up. There's also the additional question of purchase of Sukhoi 57, which is the Russian stealth aircraft, on par with the F-35 that India has also been asked to consider by the American government. So I think the Sukhoi 57, where India wants to buy more than one squadron, 2 or 3 squadrons. The question of transfer of technology is all important. The question of how quickly they can be supplied. So certainly this will also be a very important aspect of discussion between President Putin and Prime Minister Modi. We do know that there will be a formal banquet by President Draupadi Murmu, and this is a great gesture for President Putin. So this will be a very important and significant visit, and I do see that it will mark yet another milestone, an important milestone in the special and privileged strategic partnership between India and Russia. And the outcome of this visit will be a key determinant for the next few years. What we decide on the S-400s, on the Sukhoi 57s, on the trade relationship, on building up this trade relationship. All this is very important.
Right, Ms. Sikri. Ms. Sikri, so just taking it slow, you have broken down many possible outcomes of this crucial meeting, and you've highlighted technology cooperation, defense cooperation, whether it is also the energy partnership that India and Russia have maintained even during such turmoil times. But from the perspective of diplomacy, I'd like to ask you, in a world where soft power has so much influence on how geopolitical relationships work, and especially because since the time Trump has become president of America, he's been very frank about what he feels about India and Russia's relationship. And that has been also used, our energy purchase from Russia has been used as a key reason for penalty tariffs on Indian products and Indian imports, Indian exports. Now that this meeting is happening between India and Russia, and Putin is coming to India, how do you think, what message does it give to global leaders such as Trump, according to you?
Well, I think this is a very strong signal of India's strategic autonomy, that we are very keen and determined to maintain strategic autonomy in our foreign policy, and foreign policy will be guided by India's own security interests, diplomatic interests, political interests, and this will be the sole guide. We have always maintained strategic autonomy. We believe in developing relationships with different countries based on India's own strategic interests and the mutual benefit with that country concerned. So I think President Putin's visit is a very strong signal in that direction. We do know that President Putin, after the ICC judgment, has really restricted his travel. So he doesn't travel to many countries at all. So the fact that he's going to be welcomed in India and full security will be provided, I think this is a key moment for President Putin and for India. And I think that the question of the conflict, the Ukrainian-Russian conflict, will certainly figure also, because India has played an important part in talking to both sides. And we have always said this is not an era of war. There should be a cessation of hostilities. Both sides should sit together and work it out. We do know that President Trump has a 28-point peace plan on Ukraine. And President Putin has signaled his broad agreement with President Trump's peace plan. But of course, we do know that there will have to be talks between the two sides. So, and we know that Prime Minister Modi has been talking to both sides. He's been in close touch with President Putin, and President Zelensky has also been very keen to talk to our Prime Minister, and other leaders of President Zelensky's government as well have been talking to our External Affairs Minister and to others in India. So all this shows that India does have this key interest. On the one hand is our strategic autonomy, on the other hand is our interest in the finding a good solution, a lasting solution to the Ukraine-Russian conflict. Yeah. So these are also additional dimensions of the visit.
Got it. Thank you so much, Ms. Sikri. You've put down so many points for us to ponder upon. And yes, of course, as the world fixes its binoculars on this strategic meeting, it will be interesting to see the outcome of Mr. Modi and Mr. Putin's meeting in India, after all. But thank you so much for bringing us your perspective to the table.
Thank you. Thank you.